Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching from. This is the Asylum Answer Show. I'm Brian Manning. I want to answer your questions about winning asylum in America. So, I used to be an asylum officer with the government, with USCIS, with the Houston Asylum Office, but now I'm a lawyer. I have a law firm. It's called Political Asylum Lawyers, and we're based in Houston, Texas, but it doesn't really matter where we're based. It doesn't matter where we're working out of because we help people all over the country. It doesn't matter where you are. We help immigrants all over the country, all over the United States. We help them to secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know where you're watching from. Hello, YouTube. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. We're all over the place right now. We are all over the place. And what I want to know is what questions you have about winning asylum in the United States. This is your chance. Ask a lawyer. Ask me anything about asylum. I don't really answer questions about marriage based immigration, employment based immigration, investment based immigration, because I don't do that stuff. I don't know that stuff. It's not my focus. It's not what I'm great at. It's not uh, I think, especially well and uniquely qualified to help people with. What I think I'm good at and what my law firm is good at and what we're really qualified to help people with is asylum. So let me know what questions you have about asylum. Um, all right. Hey, Yelenon, good to see you. Says, hey, Brian, good morning. I'm nervous about my interview. Don't worry. We got you, bro. We got you. We got you, bro. Yelenon, you're going to, so I think it's okay to say this because Yelenon comes on here lots of lives that I do and says this. He's one of our clients whom we helped get his interview through a mandamus lawsuit. We sued the government because we said, you know what, this is taking too long. This delay is unreasonable. We sued him. We filed a lawsuit. We sued him, and we it worked. We won. We got the interview. But now Yilenong is saying he's nervous about his interview. It's scheduled. It's coming up soon. Don't worry, Yilenong. We got you. We got you. All right. We're going to prepare you. We're going to do the preparation that we do with all of our clients and that we also do for people who hire us just for preparation. Um, and it's something that we call the mock asylum interview experience, the mock asylum interview experience. For short, we call it the experience. And it consists of two practice sessions. Okay. One is a full scale mock interview, and the other is a follow up session, like a debrief session where we give you feedback about how you did during the mock interview and all of our best tips for how to tell your story in a clear and compelling way. And we're also going to provide you with video recordings and audio recordings of those two practice sessions, as well as the transcripts and summaries, so that you can keep reviewing. You can keep learning from those. You can keep benefiting from those up until the moment of your interview. It doesn't matter whether your interview is 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. You're going to keep benefiting from those trainings. Okay. And right now we're offering a special packet where we're offering people some additional exclusive trainings on video that are not available to the public. If you buy this package now, this preparation. And so, who is that? Amol that just asked us? Yeah. Anmol says, good morning. What are the fees of the mock interview? Well, good morning to you. The fees for this service that I've just been describing called the mock asylum interview experience, it's $3,000. Okay. Technically, it's a tiny bit less. $2,997 for the experience. And you can learn all about it. This is the first step. Go here to learn about it, okay? To read all about it. Actually, there's a video at the top of the page, super long and detailed video with all the information you need about, what this is, how I think it can help you, and why I think you need it. Asylumprep.com. Start there. If you think it looks good, schedule a consultation because you got to do a consultation. You can't just hire us directly. You can't just hire us directly for the experience. You have to qualify. We need to talk with you in a consultation, get to know you, understand your case, understand your situation, see if you qualify for this service. Okay. So go to it, but start at asylumprep.com. All right. All right. We got TikTok, we got YouTube, we got Instagram, we got LinkedIn, we got Facebook. All right. Sweet and sour guy says, when you sue them, are they deny? I don't know if that's a question or a statement. They deny in cases, but I'm going to address it like this. The question is this: will suing the government to force your asylum review, could that actually hurt your underlying asylum case? Like, will they want to deny you because you dared sue the mighty US government? Do they hold it against you? Does it make you look bad? No. Look, as a lawyer, I often give an answer that starts with, it depends. Not this one. This one I say with high confidence that no, it will not affect your asylum case. The fact that you sued the government, um, it doesn't. It doesn't. I say this based on my experience both as a former asylum officer with the government and now as an asylum lawyer whose law firm has sued the government in these mandamus lawsuits. I believe more than 200 times, around 200 times in the last 2 or so years. Uh, we just don't see them denying people because we sued. We don't see any negative effects at all because we sued in our clients' cases. The officers are not holding this against our clients. Okay. I say this with a greater sample size than, I don't know, maybe just about any lawyer in the United States. I mean, we have filed more of these mandamus lawsuits than almost any lawyer in the country, I have to assume. Um, so yeah, it works. Our clients love it. And no, the officers are not holding it against our clients. It's not, we don't have higher denial rates for those clients than for like normal interviews that were gotten without a mandamus lawsuit. So don't worry about it. I don't worry about it at all for our clients. It's all good. Speaking of our mandamus lawsuits, I announced this. Some of you might have seen this, but I want to say it again for those who didn't. I announced this last week. We're doing something you're not going to see other immigration lawyers do. For the moment, limited time, we're offering a money back guarantee on our mandamus lawsuits. The mandamus lawsuit that I've been talking about is where we sue the government to force them to give you your interview. If you've been waiting for a long time, and we sue them to get your interview. I mentioned a second ago that we've done this around 200 times in the last couple of years or so. Well, it hasn't failed yet. It has not failed yet. We have not lost a single one of these cases. Look, past performance does not guarantee future results. Your results may vary. We may lose one of these eventually, but we haven't yet. As of the moment that I'm making this video, we haven't lost one yet. That I'm doing this live, actually. We haven't lost one yet. And because of that, because I think that we've gotten this down. We know how to do this now. We've gotten really good at it. We've got a lot of experience at it. We've gotten good at it. And because of that, we're so confident in it that we're offering a money back guarantee. We're offering a money back guarantee. If we sue and you don't, it doesn't work, you get your money back. Simple as that. It's only for qualified people. There's like terms and conditions apply, right? So you got to qualify for it. We need to talk with you, see if it makes sense to do it in your case, and see if you qualify for this money back guarantee. So, but for certain people, yeah, money back guarantee. If you want to talk with us about this and see whether you qualify and whether it makes sense in your case to do this lawsuit, to sue the government, go to this website, winasylum.com. That's where you can schedule the consultation. WINASYLUM.com. Again, that's winasylum.com. WINASYLUM.com. Okay, winasylum.com. All right. Sweet and sour guys, why do you say don't do it when you sue the denying cases? Because my experience as a former asylum officer and now an asylum lawyer who's done this 200 times in my law firm, I think, is the exact opposite. So why do you say that? Did you do a mandamus lawsuit and then you lost your case? Is that what you're saying? Or what is your basis for saying don't do it? I'm curious what your reasoning is. Let me know. Right. With Trump's executive order for South African refugees, will it help? Tony wants to know a little bit. Yeah, but it's not a guarantee that you're going to win asylum. Okay. All right. After how long can we sue a mandamus lawsuit? Please. Max wants to know on TikTok. The question is this. So how long do you need to wait before you can file a mandamus lawsuit to force the government to finally give you your asylum interview? There is no set minimum. There's no law that provides a minimum. There's no court case that says there's an absolute minimum. It's kind of a case by, different judges view it differently. In my law firm, right now, at the moment, we're saying 5 years is the minimum for us to take your case. I'm not saying it's impossible to win at 3 or 4 years, but in my law firm, we're doing 5 years. We're only taking cases where the applicant, you, the asylum seeker, has been waiting for 5 years or more for their interview. If you get to 5 years, we think you're in a very good position to win, to have success with this mandamus lawsuit. In fact, we're so confident that for certain people who qualify, we're offering a money back guarantee for a limited time on our mandamus uh, lawsuit service. So if you've been waiting for your interview for a long time and you want to get it done, move on with your life with confidence and certainty about your future, in acknowledging and considering the fact that the sooner you get your interview and your decision, the better your chances for success, I truly believe. If you want to do that and move toward that, we should talk. Go to winasylum.com and schedule a consultation now. Okay, WINASYLUM.com. Aisha or Aixa Acevedo says, I've been waiting 7 years. Let's talk. Aisha, or I'm not sure how you say that. I'm sorry. Aixa, we should talk. Go to winasylum.com. Okay, WINASYLUM.com. Let's talk. All right, you're probably in a very strong position to have success with a mandamus lawsuit. Winasylum.com. All right. All righty. Oh, Sarah says my interview is next week. What day of the week is it, Sarah? And what asylum office? Let me know. Julius and Quinty wants to know on YouTube. Hello, Brian. If you send an expedite letter to the USCIS after waiting 8 years, do you stand a chance of getting an interview date? Almost certainly not. Probably not. No. The question is this. If you've been waiting for your asylum interview for many years, will it work to just send in a letter saying, hey, could you please expedite my case? No. Just asking, say, hey, give me my interview. No, it's not going to work. Doing a humanitarian expedite where you're trying to convince USCIS that there's like urgent humanitarian reasons, like a health issue you're facing or something that makes it such that they should schedule your interview and expedite your case, rarely works. Sometimes, rarely. Not a good chance for success. You know what does work if you've been waiting a really long time? A mandamus lawsuit, suing the government to force them to give you your interview. We love doing it. We've done it like 200 times in the last 2 or so years in my law firm, and we haven't lost one yet. Look, it doesn't guarantee future success. Results may vary, but what I want to tell you is that it's a powerful tool. Our clients love it because it works. So look, if you've been waiting for years, talk with an asylum lawyer about suing the government. That's the powerful path to take, okay? Will the government shutdown delay getting decisions on cases? Probably not. As of right now, as of this moment, it looks like operations are normal with the asylum offices. So I think it will be okay, but that could change. They could reallocate the workforce, change things such that the shutdown could affect asylum case processing with USCIS, but so far at the time we're doing this live, it has not. All right. Nice. Karen Bilger says, hi, I'm from Michigan, Ann Arbor. You're the best. I learned a lot from you. Oh, thanks. Very kind of you to say that. I appreciate that. Very nice. Azize Asaf, you're welcome. You're welcome, my man. Or actually, I don't know if you're a man. You're my person. You're welcome. Is there any way to postpone the interview until the current administration changes? Khan wants to know. You don't really have control over that. Look, if you've been waiting for several years, Khan, I would force it to do it now. Even though you got the Trump administration right now, it's better to have your interview 2, 4, 6 months from now, which you might be able to accomplish with a mandamus lawsuit, than it is to do nothing and maybe get called in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Because I strongly believe with every passing month under the Trump administration, the approval rate is going to go down, such that if you get called for your interview 2 years from now, 3 years from now, your chances for success are going to be much lower than they are right now. Therefore, I recommend that you seize this opportunity to push your interview forward now. If you've been waiting for several years, for us, it's 5 years. If you've been waiting 5 years or more, we would love to talk with you about doing a mandamus lawsuit to move your case forward. All right. How much does it cost to sue? I know, $6,500. The question is this. So how much does it cost to hire us to sue the government, to force them to finally give you your asylum interview? We're talking about the mandamus lawsuit, the famous mandamus lawsuit here. $6,500. That's the attorney fees to hire us to force USCIS to finally give you your asylum interview. That's just for suing and trying to get your interview. If you want to hire us to also represent you in your underlying asylum case, like actually help you to win the underlying asylum case and take it over and be your lawyers for the rest of your asylum case, it's $12,500. If you want to do both, mandamus plus representation in the underlying asylum case, it's $12,500. Now, in both of those cases, whether it's you just want our help with mandamus or you want mandamus plus representation, we have payment plans available. So it's not like you have to pay the whole thing all, at once up front. Okay. That's how that works. Sarah. Okay. Thursday. Look, Sarah's interview is Thursday. Sarah, if you go right literally today to asylumprep.com, look at the information. And then today, if you schedule a consultation with us and you do that consultation tomorrow or at the very latest Monday and you hire us not later than Monday, we could still do the preparation with you. There would still be time to do the preparation. But you have to literally go, you would have to today do the scheduling of the consultation and have the consultation not later than Monday and hire us not later than Monday. Look, actually, Sarah, if you go today and you schedule the consultation and there's no availability for like tomorrow, then just go ahead and schedule it for whenever there's availability. But then send an email to info@politicalasyluምላwyers.com and say, hey, I just scheduled, but my interview is Thursday. Can you please get me in today for a consultation? And I'll do my best. I'll do my best to get one of our team members to do the consultation with you today, okay? To give us time to get you prepared for your interview next week. But first, go to asylumprep.com, look it over, see if you think it looks helpful to you. And then if so, let's get going with the consultation, okay? Sam wants to know, I came on a visitor visa. I have an interview with USCIS office in Chicago. If they deny my case, are they going to detain me? Are they going to send me a letter of decision? Please reply. The question is this. What happens when you get a negative decision from USCIS after your asylum interview? Look, what happens next depends on your immigration status at that moment when they make that negative decision. If you do have legal status, whether that's tourist status, student status, TPS, when they make that negative decision, they don't put you in deportation proceedings. Rather, they give you a notice of intent to deny, a letter that says, we think we're going to deny you for the following reasons, but you have 16 days to respond in writing and tell us your arguments and try to change our minds. If you do have success, great, you get asylum. If not, they say, nope, asylum denied. And your asylum claim disappears. You don't win asylum, but you just stay with whatever your other status is until that expires. Then you're supposed to leave. However, if when you get a negative decision from USCIS, you do not have any kind of legal status, you get put in deportation proceedings. They start a court process where the government's trying to deport you. You go to immigration court to defend yourself. You do get another chance to present your case in immigration court, your asylum case, and the judge decides whether to give you asylum or an order of deportation. If an order of deportation, there are 2 levels of appeals that you can take after that to keep fighting your case. So you can keep fighting for quite a while. Ernesto says, you're an incredible person. Thanks for everything that you guys do in Spanish. De nada. Que muy amable. Que bueno, gracias. Un placer. All right. If I do have the chance that mandamus sue, I'm waiting for 9 years. Oh yeah, Sarah, 9 years. You are in a very strong position to have success with a mandamus lawsuit. We should talk, Sarah. We should talk. There's a good chance that you're going to qualify for our money back guarantee on our mandamus lawsuit service. It's a good chance. We should. should. 'Definitely talk. Wait. Hold on, Sarah. 9 years. You are in a very strong position to have success with a mandamus lawsuit. We should talk, Sarah. We should talk. There's a good chance that you're going to qualify for our money back guarantee on our mandamus lawsuit service. It's a good chance. We should definitely talk. Do I have a chance that mandate? But Sarah, you said your interview is next week. So you don't need to sue to get your interview if your interview is next week. So you're good. But look, if it takes a long time to get the decision, Sarah, after the interview, if it takes more than a month, we could talk about suing to force the decision. All right. All right. Uh, Varun Creations says I mailed the Noid rebuttal on August 8th to the Chicago. It's been almost 2 months. I'm still waiting for a final decision. Is that normal? Can I do anything to push them to give a decision? I'd send an email, and the question is this: let's say you send a Noid rebuttal to USCIS. So you had your interview, and then they sent you a notice of intent to deny. We call that a Noid, right? And you send a rebuttal, like your written arguments back saying, no, here's why you're wrong. Here's why you should give me asylum. But then you don't hear anything. It takes them a long time to give you a final decision. You're waiting like more than a month. What can you do? I'd send an email. And just say, hey, just wanted to make sure that could you please let me know if the officer needs anything else from me to try to so they can make a decision in my case. By the way, could you possibly please provide an estimate as to when I might expect to get that decision? Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes that's enough to push it forward. If that doesn't work, then what I want to know is, when did you apply for asylum? If you applied, I'm not asking when you had your interview, I'm not asking when you got the NOID, but when did you apply? If you applied 5 years or more ago, then you would be in a good position to have success, I think, with a mandamus lawsuit to force them to make that final decision. Okay. How did the payment plan work for the mandamus lawsuit? Let me see. I need to check that in my data here. So if you wanted to hire us just for the mandamus lawsuit, you would make an initial payment of $3,500. And then you would make 8 monthly payments, like we would charge automatically each month your credit card that you have on file with us in the amount of $375 each month for 8 months. Okay. So the total is $6,500, but you can get started with an initial payment of $3,500. Okay. That's how that works. All right. Zach Diablo says, if your green card gets denied because of a mistake on the application, do you lose your asylum status? Good question. And the question is this. Let's say you won asylum and then you go on to apply for your green card, but your green card application gets denied because you messed up something on the application form or for some reason, right? It gets denied. Does that mean you're going to lose your asylum status too? Well, look, not automatically. It depends on what the reason is that they denied your green card. I would say frequently, though, it does happen that if your green card application gets denied after you've won asylum, it's because they think that you're lying about something. They think you've committed fraud. You see, what happens is when you apply for your green card, they're going to look at your whole immigration file, at everything with a fine-tooth comb. A lot of these officers are going to go through and look for things in your file that look like inconsistencies. That look like you've said one thing at one time and then another thing another time, and maybe it doesn't line up with your evidence. They're going to look for inconsistencies. And when they find them, they can say, oh, we think you're lying to us. And so then they use that as an excuse to both deny your green card application, and then they also send you a letter saying, actually, we think you lied to get your asylum status too, and so we're going to try to take that away from you. We're going to schedule what's called termination interview, where you go back to the asylum office and they ask you questions about these supposed lies that you made, and then they make a decision about whether to take away your asylum status. If they do that, then you get put in deportation proceedings. So yeah, it's serious stuff. It's tough. That's why you got to do a really good job with your green card application. Be prepared for your interview. You got to be really careful because this does happen. Are you in North Carolina? Quadruple 0706. No, I'm in Texas, but we help people in North Carolina. We have clients in North Carolina. We have clients all over the country. We help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. Okay, doesn't matter where you are. We help clients all over the country. All right. When you file for asylum, do you need to put the $100 money order already? Silent Signal wants to know. Yeah, you need to pay when you apply. It's easy if you do this with USCIS. you do it at the end of the process of submitting your application online through your My USCIS account, just by putting your credit card information in. It's easy. All right. Uh, what happened? Clovar wants to know, what if I had an interview, got denied, then submitted an EOIR, and now I'm under revision again? I'm not sure what you mean under revision. You mean your case is pending with immigration court, and you want to know, like, what do you want to know exactly? Restate your question for me. Let me know what you think, or what. Let me know what you want to ask me. I didn't quite understand. All right. Uh, all right. Nice. Hello from Florida, says Queen. Nice. Good to see you in Florida, Tony. Thank you. Says, thanks. You're welcome. Charlotte says, are you in Arizona? Nope, but I'm in Texas, but it doesn't matter. We help people in Arizona. We can help clients anywhere in the country. We help them all over the United States. Doesn't matter where you are. All right. All right. My wife is Venezuelan and I'm a citizen. How can we fix your doc? I'm Navy active. Christian wants to know. Christian, my office doesn't do marriage based immigration. Okay. We just do asylum. So for that, I recommend that you talk with an immigration lawyer who focuses on marriage based immigration. Okay. Family based immigration. Uh, I'm your I'm your guy. I think I'm your guy for asylum, but for other types of immigration cases, I recommend that you go with the immigration lawyer who focuses on, on that kind of thing. All right. Yep. You're welcome. My pleasure. If your wife has a pending asylum case, then, we would be glad to talk with her about that. But pursuing a marriage-based case is usually easier to win that than it is asylum. So that should be the first thing that you should look to. All right. Um, Alin Blind says, when you say win the case after you sue, you mean get approved for the asylum or just that you get an interview faster? Well, when I say that we've done like 200 of these, something like that, and we haven't lost one yet, I'm talking about getting the interview. I'm talking about getting the interview. Um, what if you want to add, if you're interested though in, like, do we win the underlying asylum case after, once we get the interview? Um, we definitely have not seen a higher denial rate of the asylum cases, a higher like refusal rate. Definitely not. No. Which is good news. It means that it's one of the reasons that I am highly, highly confident that suing to force the interview does not hurt your underlying asylum case. All right. All right. Nobody says, hey, Brian, does a letter from a psychiatrist have more weight than one from a psychologist or a social worker? Which one do you recommend? Well, probably. I mean, a medical doctor, like a psychiatrist is a medical doctor, probably looks a little better, has a little more weight, taken a little more seriously than a letter from like a social worker. When an asylum officer sees, oh, this one's from an MD, this medical doctor, it just feels more, I don't know, authoritative. So yeah, if you're seeing different people, then and you're deciding which one to have write a letter or do a report, then yeah, probably a medical doctor is preferable. All right. Uh, Samuel Gatonga wants to know, I had my interview 3 weeks ago, no decision yet, but I really need to make money to survive. Should I work, DoorDash, etc.? Would that cause issues? I mean, I can tell you that you're not supposed to work until you get a work permit or you get approved for asylum. The good news, Samuel, is that you won't have to even wait those 150 days. Like when you apply for asylum, you're supposed to wait 100. You have to wait 150 days to apply for your work permit. But if you get your interview before then and you get your decision before then, and it's a positive decision, you can work immediately. Upon being granted asylum, you can work immediately. You don't have to wait to get any kind of card or anything that says you can work legally. You can work immediately just based on the fact that you've been approved for asylum. Okay, so that's good. What's the approval rate for the Newark Asylum office in Manhattan? It's I don't know off the top of my head what the rate is, and they haven't released statistics around approval rates in several years. But according to most recent statistics, Newark is one of the better ones. It's like a little bit lower than like San Francisco and Los Angeles traditionally, but it's one of the higher ones in the country. Newark is pretty good. Like Newark and Arlington uh, and Chicago, those three are kind of on the same level usually, um, as like next to the highest after like Los Angeles, and San Francisco is usually the highest actually. Okay, so it's not bad. Newark's not bad. All right. Uh, SF, ASD says, SF, applying right now. When can I get an interview? 5 months in the US, duration of status, overstay, no status. Um, the question is this: how soon are you going to get your asylum interview with USCIS after applying? And does it matter like what your immigration status is for purposes of, when you're getting the interview? Well, first, no, it doesn't matter what your status is. It doesn't matter if you have lawful status when you're applying for asylum. It doesn't matter if you don't have it. It doesn't matter how you enter the country. None of that matters for the timing of how quickly you get your interview after applying. Most people who have applied recently in the last few months have gotten their interviews right away. This is weird, right? Because everyone knows of people in their communities that have been waiting for many years, 4, 8, 10 years for interviews. So you're like, wait, why would I get my interview like right away if I apply now? Just trust me, that's how it works. It's complicated, the reasons behind it, but that's how it is. We're seeing a lot of people get their interviews within 3 to 8 weeks of applying. Okay. It's happening fast. You got to be ready. I hope you have an asylum lawyer who's helping you and is prepared to work really quickly to put together your case to build it on paper, but most importantly, to prepare you, to do practice sessions with you, okay, to do a full scale mock interview and debrief session. The preparation is the most important part of the case. All right. Sam says if the case status online, if your online case status for USCIS says interview scheduled, how long is it going to take to get your interview notice where it actually tells you the date of the interview, and how much time do you get between getting that letter and the interview date? So, look, unfortunately, I got to tell you, the fact that it says your interview is scheduled, it probably is correct. It probably is true. It means that you will probably get the letter, the notification that actually has the interview notice soon, within the coming days or weeks, probably. But sometimes it's not correct. Sometimes they just have random incorrect messages on there, so you can't be 100% sure. But look, the question is this: how much time do you get between receiving your asylum interview notice, the letter that says, hey, your interview's been scheduled, come to the asylum office on X date at Y time? How much time between receiving this letter and the actual date of your interview? Sometimes it's really short. Sometimes it's like a week, 7, 8 days. On average, though, it's probably about 2 weeks or 13, 15 days, something like that. But look, it's not much time, okay? Usually. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's like a month or two, but usually it's not. It's not much time. You got to be ready to move quickly, okay? Honestly, I think you can do something super, super important even before you ever get that letter, which is preparation. We have a special webpage all about this special service we're offering to do preparation. And you can do this even if you haven't had your interview scheduled, because the practice sessions that we're going to do with you are going to be recorded. We're going to give you access to the audio and the video and transcripts and summaries of them that you can keep using up until the moment of your interview. It doesn't matter whether your interview is 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now. You're still going to benefit from the practice that we're going to do, the preparation sessions, up until your interview, no matter when it is. So if you want to learn about that, go to asylumprep.com. Okay, asylumprep.com. You'll like that, I think. All right. All right. ASD says, I have a SIJS court order that states that my family beat me for being queer. How helpful is that? Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's tough. I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's helpful. Yeah, it's helpful. It's definitely evidence that I would submit. All right. Nobody says, does regime change in your home country have any impact if your case is based on LGBTQ plus membership? Yeah, it can. Yeah. Because look, an asylum officer could be like, oh, well, now there's a new government. We don't really know that they're going to be so bad. They might actually protect gay people. Like they might have a better human rights record, um, So yeah, it presents a challenge that you've got to hopefully leverage country conditions information that there is. Maybe there, I don't know if there is about this new regime or not, and their in their record on LGBTQ plus rights issues, or at least human rights generally. If there is, then you got to leverage it. If not, then you really got to just present a strong case, based on your personal circumstances and history about it. But yeah, it can have an impact. Nathan says, "What's the approval rate for Huntsville, Alabama? Is there an immigration court there? I didn't even remember that. I don't know, but it's probably low. All right. The South in general has low approval rates, probably very low. Okay, except for the asylum office, the USCIS asylum office in New Orleans. Uh, it actually has a pretty high approval rate. But other than that, all the asylum offices and all of the immigration courts in the South of the country have very low approval rates. Uh, uh, Can you say something about asylum decisions in San Francisco? If the interviews are being scheduled fast, does that mean they'll decide fast too? Um, Not necessarily. No, no. I think we're seeing in my office kind of the same as it's always been in terms of how long it takes to get the decision, which is to say that it's impossible to predict. It could be anywhere from 2 weeks to years. So no, unfortunately. All right. B says, "Hey Brian, I applied, got my interview within 3 weeks last Monday. Is it a bad sign?" The question is this: is it a bad sign or maybe a good sign that you applied for asylum and you got your interview right away? Like, let's this person who asked a question applied and got their interview 3 weeks later. Um, it's neither a good sign nor a bad sign. It doesn't mean anything. It has nothing to do with you personally. It has nothing to do with your underlying asylum case. It's just the way the system works. It's surprising for people to hear this, but yes, recently most people are getting their interviews very quickly within 3 to 8 weeks. Not everyone, some are falling through the cracks and not getting them quickly, but most are. It's just the way the scheduling priorities work. It's kind of a long, complicated story about why people are getting their interviews fast now when there's still people who have been waiting for 3, 6, 10 years and they're not getting their interviews. But that's how it is. So it's normal, and it's neither a good sign nor a bad sign. It's just neutral. But you got to be ready. I hope you're ready to go. I hope you have an asylum lawyer who's putting together your case on paper and most importantly, helping you to prepare. All right. You got to be ready to work hard and fast to prepare for this interview. B, on YouTube, if you're still here, have you checked out asylumprep.com yet? I'd be curious to know if you're still on here. B, have you checked out asylumprep.com? If not, please go over there and look at it. Watch the video up top or read the text. And if you think it might be the kind of thing that sounds helpful, we should definitely talk about it. Okay. I hope you'll go to asylumprep.com and and give it a look. All right. Asylumprep.com. All right. Uh, yeah. Asylumprep.com. Uh, Magdag, Magizdaga, вот, не знам. I meant to say, извините, не знаю. Не знаю. I don't know. Can it be a reason to replace my CDL with a new one with zero experience? How big is this? I don't know. I don't know about the impact on CDL stuff. Uh, okay. B says already had the interview. Everything within 3 weeks. Wow, you already had guys. Did you hear this? Over on YouTube, B applied and already had their interview 3 weeks after applying. Ooh, you got to go fast, guys. You got to be ready to go, go, go. Well, I hope it went well. Good luck with the decision. All right. Uh, uh, nice. Wikaz Mim LV says, "What do you think of LGBTQ asylum who came from countries that criminalize that? Then there's probably a chance to win. It's not guaranteed. Okay. It's not guaranteed. But yeah, if you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community and you're from a country that criminalizes it and treats gay people or members of that community very poorly, then you have a chance to win. It's a case that you should, I think, talk about definitely with an asylum lawyer to see if in your particular case, it makes sense to apply and to talk about how to pursue the case, how to present the case. But yeah, there's probably a chance. All right. Uh, uh nice. Where are you located? Sahar Khan wants to know. We're based in Houston, Texas. My law firm's based in Houston, but it doesn't matter. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. We can help people anywhere and everywhere in the United States. We help immigrants all over the country. We have clients all over. All right. Would the change in the Syrian regime affect my asylum? I applied in 2022. Probably, Juma. It changes your case for sure. It changes how you need to be approaching your case. Yeah, it changes how you need to be approaching your case. You should talk. You should probably talk with an asylum lawyer, Juma. Sahar says, "Perfect. I'm relocating to Houston within this month. Awesome. Houston's great. But look, it doesn't really matter because even for people in Houston, we don't do in-person meetings to like develop the case or practice. We do it by video conference. It doesn't matter whether you're in Houston or Seattle or New York or San Francisco. We do it the same with all of our clients, no matter where they are. We handle the representation the same. So it really doesn't matter whether someone's in Houston or not. All right. We have people all over the country. Is it okay to have two cases? What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you can't really have two asylum cases pending as a principal applicant. It's okay to. You can be a principal applicant with your own application pending and be a dependent in another case. That's fine and normal. Yeah. Zozo, I don't know what the approval rate is right now in San Francisco. The asylum office hasn't published statistics in several years. I don't remember what the immigration court. I don't know what the immigration court is approval rate in San Francisco is, but it's high. San Francisco is always the highest or one of the highest approval rates in the country, both for the asylum office and the immigration court. So it's the best place to be in asylum seekers. Sahar says, "Oh, perfect. We'll try to get a consultation." There is no try. There is only do. Just do it, Sahar. You don't have to try. Just do it. Go to winasylum.com, Sahar. WINASYLUM.com. Please. We want to talk. All right. We want to talk about whether we think we can help you. We want to get to know you, understand your situation, your case, and see if we think we're in a position to help you. If we think that we are, we're going to explain how. We're going to tell you exactly, like concretely, what the steps will be that we're going to take to give you the best possible chance to secure your future in America through asylum. We should talk. Go to winasylum.com, please. All right. Okay, gotcha. Sandra, thanks for clarifying. So the question is this: can you select multiple bases for which you're applying for asylum? So look, when you fill out the asylum application form, one of the questions says, okay, like, why do you fear being persecuted? What is the reason? Is it because of and they have different options. It says, and what they call 5 protected characteristics are race, religion, nationality, political opinion, and something called membership in a particular social group. And to win asylum, you have to show that the persecution is motivated by the fact that you possess one of those 5 protected characteristics. It's based on one of those things, okay? Your case has to be based on one of those. The question, though, is, can it be based on multiple things? Like, is it okay to check multiple boxes? Yeah. If you believe that the bad guys want to harm you or have harmed you in the past because of multiple of those things, more than one of those things, then yeah, you should indicate all the things that you think are motivating the persecution. So yeah, it's fine to have a case that is based both on, let's say, political opinion and race. It's not uncommon, in fact. If there's things that you can point to that show that those are 2 of the things that cause the bad guys to target you for harm, then yeah, you should you should check both of them for sure. I will say, however, that some people try to get creative and clever and say, well, I think it's also membership in a particular social group when there's really no evidence for that. Like it very cleanly fits into, let's, for example, it might clearly fit into the political opinion category, but some people, including lawyers, will try to get clever, creative, and say, I think this also counts as persecution on account of the membership in a particular social group option. And that, in my opinion, is not helpful. I don't. Some lawyers say, yeah, let's make all the possible arguments. If there's even a remote chance that this argument could be successful, let's make it. I don't do that. I think it's better to focus on your strongest arguments in general, but especially when it comes to this question of which protected characteristic are you indicating is the basis of your asylum case. I go with the strong argument or arguments, not these like speculative trying to be clever ones, especially around the question of membership in a particular social group. All right. Um, all right. Nice. All right. Nice. So on YouTube, NB uh, H9. What does that mean? What is that? This feels Slavic. Is this Serbian? Says I published a political dissident book, which is criticizing the government system, receiving multiple online death threats. Can this help to apply for asylum? Um, yeah, I mean those are the kinds of things that could put someone in danger and that could be pointed to as you can point to as an indication that you're at risk. You know, just on its own, is that enough to like win or to have a strong case? I don't know. I can't. I need to know more. It's like I need to know a lot more. All right. If you want to talk with us, we'd love to talk with you in detail uh, about your situation. Um, uh, in a consultation. Go to winasylum.com. By the way, predisam govoru Serbski, Hrvatski. I do not now, though. Lived in Croatia for 2 years. I studied Croatian for 2 years before going to Zagreb for 2 years. My first posting as a diplomat. I love South Central Europe. It's a good part of the world. Former Yugoslavia. I love it out there. Where are you from? NBSH or NBSH H9? I want to know where are you from. Let me know. I'm curious. All right, we've got. Oh, nice. Happy Hub says, "Hi, Brian. We love you, man. You're such a noble and helpful person. I appreciate you. God bless you." That's super nice. That's a nice Friday thing to go into the weekend with. Thank you for those kind words, Happy Hub. Really, very kind of you. I appreciate that. Um, I'm an atheist. Can I apply for asylum? Says Asif K. The question is this: can you win asylum on the basis of being an atheist? Yeah, if that's a reason that you're at risk and for which people want to persecute you or have persecuted you, then yes, this can form the basis of an asylum claim. So look, remember to win asylum, it's not enough just to show that you're you're being persecuted, but rather you have to show the persecution is motivated by the fact that you, asylum seeker, possess one of the five protected characteristics under U.S. asylum law. Those are your race, religion, nationality, political opinion, and something called membership in a particular social group. Now, being an atheist does fit under this category of religion. So it's not just for people that are persecuted because they have a particular religion. It's also if you're persecuted because you don't have a religion, because you don't follow the religion of the people that are persecuting you, maybe, or they just don't like the fact that you're an atheist. In short, yes, being an atheist does, or being persecuted because you're an atheist does count as persecution on account of that religion ground. So yeah, it can definitely form the basis of a viable asylum case for sure. For sure. Oh, from North Africa. All right. Married to a Serbian, but from North Africa. Ah, that's what I suspected. NBS Mbisha H sounds feels Serbian to me. Uh, from North Africa. Nice. All right. Uh, Alin Blind says, I have a home and I have multiple investments active in the country. If I get deported, will they allow me time to sell everything before forcing me out? Good question. The question is this. So if you own property, you have investments in the United States, you have business interests, things like this. If you end up getting a deportation order, are they going to give you time to sort of wrap up your affairs and sell these things or deal with these interests before they force you out? No, they don't care about that. Um, Look, the the deportation process doesn't happen usually overnight. Usually have some notice that it's happening, and you'll have, hopefully most people have a little bit of time to tend to these kinds of affairs, but absolutely not. They definitely do not actually like account for that and say, oh, okay, well, yeah, well, then we'll push your departure date out a little bit further, or that. No, they don't give you time to deal with this. They don't care about that. They don't want to know about it. They don't care about it, unfortunately. All right. Ethiotech, I'm guessing you're from Ethiopia, says, I have pending asylum. I'm thinking of applying for TPS. Will TPS prevent my chance to fight my case in court if I get denied from USCIS? How would TPS influence the normal process of asylum? Good question. The question is this. What happens if you have TPS and you get a negative decision from the asylum office? And if you don't have TPS yet, does it make sense to apply for it if you've got an asylum case pending? So yeah, if you have TPS, it affects things in the sense that if you get a negative decision, you don't get sent to court, you don't get put in deportation proceedings, you don't have a chance to sort of present your case again in court. However, I think it's better. I think it's better to have TPS and be protected from being placed in deportation proceedings. I totally understand this idea that, like, oh no, I want another chance. I want to keep fighting my case in court, but I think it's better to not be in deportation proceedings. I tend to think it's better to have TPS and be protected against being put in deportation proceedings, even though you don't get another chance after a negative decision from the asylum office. Having TPS does not affect the merits of your asylum case. It's not a negative or positive factor for purposes of whether you get a positive or negative decision from the asylum office. Okay, but you definitely can apply for TPS even though you have an asylum case pending. Okay, and it doesn't really affect anything in the process except for what happens next if you get a negative decision from the asylum office. That's the only way that TPS matters to your pending asylum case. ASD says, how strong are Kurdish LGBTQ cases? Do you enjoy working with them? I don't know if I've had a Kurdish LGBTQ case. We've had Kurdish cases, and we've had LGBTQ cases. I don't know if we've had a Kurdish LGBTQ case. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that in our records and see. Um, do we enjoy working with them? We enjoy working with Kurdish cases and with LGBTQ cases. Yes, we've had a lot of success. Uh, I imagine you could have a decent case if you're a Kurd and you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community. I imagine that you could have a decent case, if not a strong case. So we should talk. All right, we should talk. We'd like to talk about that. I hope to schedule a consultation ASD at winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. Winasylum.com. All right. Winasylum.com. Okay, this is interesting. Uh, in my country, there is a proposed bill that criminalizes being LGBT. It's being pushed through. How effective is this? It it's not super helpful. It helps a little bit to just, if only sort of psychologically in the officer's mind, as like, oh, it looks like they could be at risk, but they're not going to be like, oh, that means you definitely need asylum because there's a proposed bill. No, they won't. They won't take a proposal as something that's like, oh, that definitely means you're at risk, because there's proposed bills for all kinds of things, right? It may speak to the overall atmosphere of like anti-LGBTQ sentiment and indicative of a very difficult environment, if not, or even hostile environment. for the LGBT community in your country, but by itself, it's not probably enough just to, just by itself to be like, yes, I'm going to win based just on that. Okay. Uh, Sam says, last 4 years, I paid $8,000 to my lawyer, and now he's not answering my calls. I try to reach out. It's almost like all the office, nobody answers me. Is there any way I can get my asylum case ID and password? When you say password, what password are you talking about? Do you mean for a My USCIS account? Um, that I don't know. That's a good question. Um, it sounds like maybe your lawyer created a My USCIS account for you, and like it's not actually your account. That's not good, man. That um, yeah, we don't do that. Our clients have their actual own My USCIS accounts. Um, I don't know how to solve. I'm not sure. I have to think about how to solve that problem if it's solvable. But what I can tell you is this: you can definitely get your case ID, meaning you can definitely get your A number. You can get all the information regarding your case by doing a Freedom of Information Act request. You don't need your lawyer to do that. In fact, you should probably hire a new lawyer and have them help you do a Freedom of Information Act request, or you can do the Freedom of Information Act request by yourself. It's not hard. So, yeah, I would start with that. Do a Freedom of Information Act request, and then you'll get a copy of what you submitted, which you need. You'll get a copy of all the letters they've ever sent to you. You should do that now. Look, if your lawyer's not responding to you and they set up a My USCIS account for you such that you're not getting any notifications from USCIS personally, that's bad because you might get an interview notice that your lawyers don't tell you about. So you need to honestly, Sam, you need to hire a new lawyer is what I would say if your lawyers stop communicating with you. And do a Freedom of Information Act request right away. Okay. That's what I think. Uh, Lace Petals says, I'm an asylee waiting for interview. Am I in danger? Waiting for the interview or with no criminal record, scared to go to the interview if they call me. The question is this: are you at high risk of arrest when you go to your USCIS asylum interview? No, I don't think so. If you don't have a criminal record, then no. I think the chances of problems when you go to your USCIS asylum interview are low. I think they're so low that I wouldn't worry about it. Look, our attorneys are representing people in the asylum offices every day, almost. I mean, usually we have multiple interviews going on every day, and this is not something that frequently happens. Okay, that people are being arrested at their affirmative asylum interview unless they have like a criminal record. We had one client who was arrested when they walked out of their interview at the asylum office, but they had a criminal record. Okay. If you don't have a criminal record, I would say don't worry about it. Okay. All right. Can I apply for EB1 or EB2 with asylum pending? Chloe wants to know. Look, talk with a lawyer who focuses on that. Okay, Chloe? Maybe is the answer. Like, it's tricky. It's a complicated area. It's kind of a gray area where it depends on a lot of things. And even if all these factors are sort of in your favor, it's still not certain that it works out. You should talk with a lawyer who focuses on those. I don't do EB1 or EB2. We just do asylum. So I'm really not the best person to advise or even offer any information on it. So go. You should talk with a lawyer who focuses on those kinds of cases. Okay, and they can give you a better sense of how realistic it is and whether it's a good idea to apply for those things. Okay, while you have an asylum case pending. Okay, I can tell you that pursuing those things would not have an impact on your asylum case. I can say that with confidence. All right. Can I work as an international flight attendant while my status is still pending? You mean you have a pending asylum case? No, because you, nah, I don't think that'll work because you gotta you would need an advanced parole document to get back into the U.S. while your case is pending, and those are usually issued for a limited time, and usually for very specific purposes of like going to do a certain thing once, not just like, oh, I'm going to be coming and leaving every day or every, 3 times a week or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying you shouldn't look into it, but I'm telling you, I think it's going to be really difficult to manage that. All right. All right. Nice. Yeah, very interesting. Uh, Cloud Lap. Why would we call or text that number? Who are you, Cloud Lap, on to commenting on Facebook on this block? You've been banned. You've been blocked, Cloud Lap. All right. Let's see. Uh, Pranati wants to know: do asylum interviews get scheduled in December, or does it slow down during the holiday season? No, they still get injured, uh, scheduled. Yeah, they still get scheduled. I mean, there's like you know, the office is there. There's holidays, right? Like December 25th is a holiday. January 1st is a holiday, so they're not working on those days. And there's a lot of employees that take vacation around that time, such that there's probably a little bit lower capacity overall in the second half of December than in a normal month, but it's not like total shutdown or anything. All right. Look, that's going to be it for today, guys. But look, if you want to get the best help possible in preparing for your interview, which is the most important thing, look, the preparation for your interview, the practice that you do, is more important than anything else in your case. It's more important than what you said in your application. It's more important than what you say in a declaration. It's more important than the evidence. It's more important than a legal brief from your lawyer. It's more important than country conditions information. It's even more important than having a lawyer represent you during your interview. The most important, the most crucial key part of your case is the preparation that you do, the practice that you do to prepare for your interview. And we recently started offering a special package just to do this, just to do the preparation. And you can hire us for this if you want, as a standalone service, meaning you don't have to pay the $11,000 to $16,000 that it costs to hire us for a full scale representation, like from the beginning of into an asylum case. Rather, you can hire us just for the preparation at a fraction of the cost of full scale representation. Okay. If you want to learn about this, go to asylumprep.com, ASYOUMPREP.com, asylumprep.com, ASYOUMPREP.com. Asylumprep.com is where you can find out tons of information about this service that we're offering. It's called the Mock Asylum Interview Experience. For short, we just call it the experience. Find out about the experience at asylumprep.com. All right. All right. Thank you for being with us today. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Hope your Friday wraps up nicely and that you have a lovely weekend. All right. We'll be back live on Monday. All right. I look forward to engaging with you then. Look, until then, it's truly a pleasure and